We're inside the Acura ZDX. So welcome to ZDX as I talk and drive for a little bit, talking about what this car is, what it can do, what its target is. So many years ago, Acura released a ZDX, which was very angular style design SUV. And I argue that they were kind of ahead of their time, because right now, if they were to release a car that looked like that, I think that they would do really well with the market and everybody wanted to drive their car and like it. So I think that's one of the things that happens with some cars, is that over time, they become more sought after. But this is an all-electric vehicle. And even in my short time, just the way it drives, the quietness inside, the way it feels when you're going around corners, the way it steers, it's just a very comfortable, confident ride. You know, when you think about electric cars, a lot of times you're thinking about the horsepower that they can generate. This has 500 horsepower, but it isn't an aggressive 500 horsepower. It's very, like, if you accelerate into it, it's very linear, and it comes in a nice wave, right, that continues. Because, you know, with most electric cars, it's instant torque. But the nice thing about this setup is that it isn't like, it's not an aggressive punch of electrical power. It keeps it nice and intuitive, where you can gradually get into the acceleration and not feel like you're about to lose control. You get many of the same controls that you get in a lot of the cars: Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, nice infotainment system. One of the things I do want to test out, that we will, is that this has a Bang & Olufsen system. Acceleration is definitely accelerating. Going through some of the corners and the curves that I went through, it's very well planned. And one of the things about the suspension and everything, that it is built like a sport type of SUV. And it does have very good brakes. It has 6-piston Brembo brakes up front. Let's do a little bit of a walk around of this car, because you do need to check this out. So this is the Acura ZDX Type S. And a couple things you'll notice about it: larger wheels, Type S badging where the charging port is, but also large 6-piston Brembo brakes. Here's the reason why. This model here has up to 500 horsepower on the vehicle and up to 499 foot-pounds of torque. It kind of matches the same, if not a little bit more. So it's very quick, but it also handles the power very linear. So when you press on the power, it's not overly aggressive. You're not dealing with something that just kind of punches you in the back and it's just like feels uncontrollable. It's a very nice linear power band. And when you have those type of brakes, you can stop in the amount of time you need to. But let me show you the interior. Here's the interior. White leather right on here. And I say white, but think of it a very light gray color, but very nice, very comfortable, heated, ventilated, heated steering wheel. One of the things you'll notice right here is this little bar right there. That is for their hands-free cruise controls that they have on there. If you look right here, Bang & Olufsen audio system, and you can kind of see Bang & Olufsen listed right there on there. Sounds incredible. Some of the modes they have for driving, like auto hold when it comes to a stop, the parking brake. This raises the ride height of this car up and down. So one of the things I noticed is when you stop the car, one of the things that it does is it actually starts lowering itself down when you turn it off. It says vehicle lowering. Now, one of the benefits probably to that is probably getting out ingress and egress, as far as getting in and out of the car, and probably even loading something on there. But continuing on with the interior, let me just jump inside real quick. And I'll turn it on for you just so you can see everything start up. So turning it on, you'll get a notification of the battery. We're at 94%, 277-mile range. One of the nice things about this is that this car does get up to 300 miles of range on there, and it looks like it handles that very well, even for my short driving. We haven't lost much range on the car, but looking at the interior, here's the setup of it. Let me turn down the fan a bit. Nice thing here, tactical buttons. Yes, you do have a large screen on the front that gives you the same CarPlay, Google, Android Auto. It has things like the camera system, which shows you everything around. And one of the things about these camera systems is being able to see different areas of it. You can see the front of it. You can see the sides of where you're going, where you're driving. You can see all around everything with the car. And you can even see, obviously, with the backup camera, when you go into reverse, it'll show the reverse. And I'll show you that here. So if you go into reverse, you'll see the camera there. And that's the entire camera system that it has there. Also different settings, ambient lighting, if you want to change the lighting that you see here inside of the car into the dash, everything around there can be changed as well. So it has the same technology that you would come to expect in any of these cars. It also has charging ports down here, USB-C, has obviously a 12-volt one right there. If you look down here, when it comes to the key, there's a big cubby hole right there with space. Here is the key that comes with this standard Acura key, but still looks good nonetheless. Cup holders. This right here is so if you look right here, wireless charger, which you just drop your phone into. This is very convenient. I love seeing, let me give you an example. Let me get my phone out real quick. Wireless charger where you could just drop your phone in like that and it'll start charging itself right there. This type of setup I like because it allows you to kind of have the phone in an area where it's not going to drop and fall, but you still can kind of see it and see where it's located at as well. Now, cup, standard glove box, stuff that you have in there. If you wanted to see a Monroney of this, I'll give you that example right here. As this car sits, we're talking about $76,000. It starts at 74. This is for the Type S Performance and with the Performance tire. I know that's a lot. And I know that's usually the caveat with a lot of these cars about the price of them, but you're talking about a performance EV SUV. So in this realm of Acura, BMW, Lexus, this is what you would suspect for it to be that level of performance and that cost. We're in that upper reaches of luxury and in performance. So let's take a quick look at the back real quick before we get out of here. To give you an example of like the back seat, I'm 6'3", so the seat is where I would comfortably sit, and this is how much legroom I have. Now, obviously my knees kind of graze on the seat, but I use that example because I'm not of the normal height. But if you have somebody smaller behind you in this back seat, you have ample space to sit there. Also, we have air vents back here. We have controls for the air. You can change it. You have heated seats in the rear as well. You have controls down there, and you have a full plug outlet down there. And because it's an EV, pretty much a flat floor. There's a slight hump in the middle, but it's completely flat. Another benefit too, let me show you. Leather seats the same in the rear, split 60-40. So if you need to put something in the back, you can split the seats just like that, 60-40 split. You have the anchor for a child seat. You have the hooks right here for a child seat as well. And kind of going to the back, let's go into the trunk area real quick. Opening the trunk, full open space trunk area. You have automatic, you can power the seats down this way by pressing on it there. You have a hook right there, 12 volt. You have a charging cable in this bag right here. And if you lift this part up here, this is extra storage as well. I think there's another storage piece under this. And then you have other storage you can put there. No, there isn't a full spare tire on this. Sometimes that can be a knock for some people. Checking out the front end of this, nice grille, nice headlight portions. I love how the lights look. I don't know if there's an area in the front for like a frunk. So let's check it out. Let's see what the trunk. This is the front area. There isn't a frunk on this. They put the electric motor and everything in the front of it to kind of, it almost looks like there's an engine here, but it has a full engine cover. But everything under here is full electric powertrain. If you can kind of see and sneak under there, you can kind of see it as well. But this is how it looks when you lift the hood. And I mean, the only time you lift this is washer fluid. There's like coolant fluid there that somebody would do at a dealership to take care of. But this is how it looks when you're looking at the front of this motor. The hands-free driving portion of this that I spoke about before with the steering wheel, you only can really activate it when it comes to like the road information. And unfortunately, the road that I'm on, the back road, there isn't enough information to kind of show that hand-free portion of it. But to kind of speak about it, a lot of the roads that these manufacturers are using for hands-free cruise control is by mapping the road so that they can then set up their systems to safely be able to navigate it hands-free. So every single road that you run into won't be able to utilize that feature, but on major highways, yes, because that is one of the main roads that they map for that. Like I said, this one has 500 horsepower, 544 foot-pounds of torque, Base price is starting at $74,000 for an Acura ZDX Type S. I did talk about the Bang & Olufsen sound system.
Shorty, what you want, I got what you need. Shorty, what you want, I got what you need.
The way that sounds inside of this car, excellent. I think that is one of the greatest features about getting some of these luxury cars, is getting these high-end audio systems. And because it's EV, you get all the sound because there's nothing else that is inherently getting in the way, like NVH or engine sound or anything like that. You're really just getting the full audio of it, and that's why it does sound good. I'm impressed, honestly. This is a very nice driving vehicle. I think it sets the tone well for Acura when it comes to getting into this EV world. And I think it looks nice, it looks sharp, it performs like you think, and you don't, like I said, you don't have to go to the Type S model. There is variants below this. This is the top of the pile. So if you wanted something like an A-spec one below and it still gain the features, maybe you don't need all the horsepower, but maybe you want to have the Acura name and the quality and the way they engineer their cars inside of an EV and an SUV, this is good. If you're ever thinking about doing it, if you're ever thinking about driving one of these, I would encourage you to go and drive one of these Acura ZDX Type S or A-spec EV SUVs, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You'll enjoy what you have, and I think Acura did an excellent job here. So this is a good time. We got more to drive.